Well, when you join the 700 Club, you're helping people all over the world, like this young woman from India named Durga. She lives in painful isolation with most of her face covered. Her condition is so dire, she's often thought of killing herself.
Durga lives in a small village in India. She has a deformed lower jaw, which causes her both physical and emotional pain.
I have tried everything to fix it at home, but nothing worked. Now my lower jaw swelled up and it's really hard to eat or even drink water.
Durga said she now lives in self-imposed isolation, hiding from the cruelty of the community.
What people say about my face is really hurtful. Their words broke my heart. It even made me question how I could go on living.
Finally, she had the courage to remove her face covering during our interview with her.
There have been times when I thought about killing myself.
Durga told us her family is poor and cannot afford surgery to repair her face and jaw, so she sits and waits and hopes.
Whenever I see people who look normal, I wish I could be like them too. A pretty woman like anyone else. It's hard to deal with the depression, especially when people bring up marriage. I can't even think about that. All I want is to have surgery. But my parents do not have money for it.
Then Durga heard about Operation Blessing. Thanks to your support, we were able to provide multiple free surgeries to remove a benign tumor and repair her face and jaw. And this was the result.
Thanks to you, I have now started a whole new chapter in my life. I'm thrilled. I keep looking at myself in the mirror because I can't believe how beautiful my face looks now. People who saw me after the surgery don't even recognize me. I've been dressing up and going to the market, feeling confident and happy.
Durga says she now has a happy life, one that she never thought possible before.
I am really happy that I can eat and drink without any problems now. I want to express my sincere gratitude to all the people who supported my operation. Thanks to you, I have a brand new life.
Can you imagine trying to contend with that deformity every day without any hope, wondering if it's ever going to change, no future for you, and then really, you become a miracle to people like this. You step right in at that point of need and you make it possible for them to have hope, for them to have a future. Their whole life changes because of your generosity. That's why we ask you to join the 700 Club, because we have not only the ability but the opportunity to make a difference. So today I want to challenge you to do that. If you've never joined before, join now. You know, not all of us can give at the same level, but everybody can give something. General membership is 65 cents a day. That works out to $20 a month. If you're already a 700 Club member at a general level membership, would you go up to 700 Club Gold? That's a gift of $40 a month. If you're a Club Gold member, go up to the 1000 Club at $84 a month, or join the 2500 Club members at $209 a month. We have founders that join us at $5,000 a year. That works out to $417 a month. And then we even have a chairman's circle. These are friends who give gifts of $10,000 or more a year. It's not about the amount you give. It's about your heart to do what God's speaking to you. If God's speaking to you to make a difference today, go to your phone and call us. Our number's toll-free. Couldn't be easier. 1-800-700-7000. Just call and say, I want to join the 700 Club. And we welcome you to all of the outreaches here at CBN that are touching the world every single day.
Well, as a CBN partner, you help people right here in the USA, like Eric and Elizabeth. This military couple are the parents of 6 children. When their furnace died, they were left with no heat. And here's how you gave this family a hand up.
Army soldier Eric and his wife Elizabeth have their hands full with 6 kids. Elizabeth used to be a soldier too. When they discovered they were having twins, they both agreed she should stay at home.
I'm very proud of my wife. It definitely releases a lot of stress from me, knowing I get to come home and know that the house is taken care of.
Budgeting for a family of 8 on Eric's single salary is tough. It became even tougher when they learned their older daughter needed braces.
How are we going to do this? How are we going to pay this bill?
Their financial situation looked hopeless when they discovered they needed new windows and their furnace died, leaving them with no heat.
It's very frustrating, very taxing on me. I don't know how I'm going to handle it.
With Colorado winter approaching, the couple borrowed space heaters. At night, they slept with the young kids in their room with one heater and kept a second running in the older kids' room.
I just want to put all of our faith into the Lord, because I know He will watch over us, He will guide us.
I know He'll get us there. I just don't know what that looks like. And I've got no choice but to trust that He will get us there.
Pastor Joe Adams reached out to CBN's Helping the Home Front.
The reality is there are just some needs in the church with military families that we don't have the resources to be able to provide. And when that happens, we know we can count on Helping the Home Front. They step in, they make a difference, they change people's lives.
The couple was invited over to the pastor's house.
CBN's Helping the Home Front is going to pay for the braces.
Thank you.
There's more here because CBN has already contacted A&A Professional Cooling and Heating to replace your furnace, completely paid for this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we're not done because CBN is also going to pay to have your windows replaced so the cold air doesn't continue to come into your home.
Very blessed, thankful in every way.
A few days later, their furnace was fixed. Then they scheduled to have their windows replaced and made an orthodontist appointment for their daughter. All paid for thanks to support from donors like you.
Thank you, CBN, for helping our family. We're grateful to you. We definitely needed it, and we love you.
You're helping people right here at home. That's helping the home front, active duty military families. They so often have a whole lot more month than money. And we want to be there for them, to let them know that we stand with them. As they serve our country, we want them to know we stand with you. You're helping people around the world, whether it's through special surgeries, through water wells, providing wonderful drinking water for villages. You're helping through disaster relief. You're helping through livelihood programs. You're helping train the children of the world in the stories of the Bible through Superbook. You're preaching the gospel around the world in over 70 languages through CBN International. It's all made possible because people like you care enough to give, to say, yes, I'll be a part of it. Now, when tens of thousands of people join, well, we can make a difference in the world today.
Well, Angel screams in pain whenever he stands up or has his diaper changed. He suffers from a rare birth defect, and doctors say that without surgery, he won't be able to walk. Angel's parents could never afford the $5,000 to pay for that operation. But thanks to you, they don't have to.
15-month-old Angel was born with a tethered spinal cord. His mom Maria said it can be quite painful.
Whenever he tried to stand up, he screamed in pain, and he cried when I moved it as I changed his diaper.
Doctors said the prognosis for recovery without surgery was grim.
He told me that my child would not be able to walk as he gets older. He said he would lose movement in his legs and arms and the ability to move around.
Angel's dad Marvin feared for the worst for his son.
I imagined him in a wheelchair. I imagined the other children playing, and he could not.
But paying for the expensive operation to repair the condition was out of reach for the young family.
I remember at a clinic, they told us it would cost about $5,000.
My husband's work is not enough to help my son. We can only afford rent and food. We have no other income.
Then, thanks to you, Operation Blessing paid for surgery to repair Angel's tethered spinal cord. The operation was successful, and a short time later, he was walking and learning to run.
I am very grateful to Operation Blessing and to all the staff who helped our son.
Thank you to the people who support Operation Blessing. I can hardly speak because of the emotion I am feeling. Thank you.
Walking, running, playing, a wonderful future ahead of him. You made that possible, 700 Club members. We say thank you.
Well, Joan's parents were desperate. Both of them had been laid off, and their daughter needed surgery for any hope of a normal life. So the couple cried out to God, and here's how you became the answer to their prayers.
Joanne was born with rickets, a painful genetic condition that caused her legs to bow. She didn't like going to school because the other kids made fun of her. At home, her mother had to constantly watch after her.
She can only walk a few steps before she falls. I have to carry her all day to keep up with all my chores.
Joanne's parents tried to save money for her surgery, but massive government layoffs in Nigeria left both of them unemployed.
We had 2 children, no income. We started a palm oil business. We were successful with it, but we could never save enough money for Joanne's expensive surgery. We were desperate. Without surgery, Joanne will be stigmatized. She will never have a normal life or be able to succeed the way we knew she could if she had straight legs. We got so depressed, but we kept praying for God's help.
Then one day, while at a clinic, they met an Operation Blessing representative. Soon after that, we paid for the surgery Joanne needed to straighten her legs.
My daughter is free from stigma. To everyone who supports Operation Blessing, thank you.
You have lifted a huge burden from our shoulders. My daughter is no longer in pain and she's not scared to go to school anymore. God answered our prayers. Seeing her walk with straight legs brings me great joy. Thank you to everyone who supports Operation Blessing. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Operation Blessings. I love you all.
Thank you. That smile, that joy, it goes to you. I love you all. Just imagine people blessing you from around the world because you cared enough to give, that you saw that there was a need and you said, let's join together. Let's meet needs around the world. If that's you, call us and say, yes, I want to be a part of it. 1-800-700-7000 and say, I want to join the 700 Club.
You know, we've been talking to you about life-changing opportunities you have by joining the 700 Club. I want to show you another one. A nasty pond an hour's walk away, and that's where Luis and his family often get their water. Even though the water makes him sick, Luis still has to drink it.
9-year-old Luis lives with his family in the Andes Mountains of Peru, 11,000 feet above sea level. Their main source of water is a stone well that was dug by the community. The water is not clean and often runs dry.
We draw water from that well, and sometimes we collect rainwater. When the well goes dry, we go to a nasty pond about 1 hour walk from our house.
The children's mother, Luz, helps to collect water.
We always look for other sources of water near the mountain. I carry it on my back or in the wheelbarrow.
Luis's favorite time of day is playing with his cousins after school. But during dry season, all playtime is filled with finding and carrying water from the pond.
We also have to get water for our animals, and that means carrying more buckets and lots of trips.
Luz told us the children often get sick from drinking the dirty water.
One day, Luis got sick and developed a fever from the water. The next day, he had severe stomach pains, so we took him to a clinic.
When Operation Blessing learned about the need, we found an underground spring. Then, thanks to you, we purified and pumped the water to a 2,500-gallon storage tank. Finally, we set up 61 water faucets, along with latrines and hand-washing stations for every family in the community.
Now I am very happy because I can drink water and wash my hands and clothes at home.
You have brought happiness to us and many families. We are so grateful. Thank you.
Look at what you've done, 700 Club members, not just Luis, his entire community touched by your generosity and kindness. We say thank you. That's what we're asking you to help us do all around the world. It happens every day, and it's because we link arms together and we say we have an opportunity to make a difference. Do that now. Go to your phone and call. Our number's toll-free, 1-800-700-7000. Just say, I want to join the 700 Club. If you're already a 700 Club member, consider going up to the next club level. We've been showing you all the opportunities you have there. Choose the one that God speaks to your heart about, and then call knowing that the stories we've showed you have been possible because people like you have gotten up and gone to their phones. So do it now.
Well, Modell had never heard about God until a neighbor invited her to church. In Sunday school, she saw an episode of Superbook that transformed her life and set a miracle in motion for her family.
6-year-old Modell has been living with her grandparents after her mother remarried and abandoned her 3 years ago.
They are kind. They love me and take very good care of me. I hug and kiss them often. I love them so much.
Modell and her grandparents are Buddhist. One day, a Christian neighbor invited Grandma and Modell to her church. In Sunday school, Modell watched CBN's Superbook story, In the Beginning.
I had never heard about God before.
At the end of the episode, Modell prayed with her teacher to become a Christian.
I wanted my sins to be forgiven and to become a child of God. I love the Superbook Salvation poem and sing it for Grandma. I asked her to take me to church every week so I can watch Superbook and know God more.
One day, Grandma lost her job as a housekeeper, and Grandpa was about to lose the taxi he drove because he got behind on his payments.
Then Grandpa watched the Superbook story, The Miracles of Jesus. The Bible characters prayed to God, and He helped them. We prayed that Jesus would help my grandparents and do miracles for them too.
A few days later, Grandma got her job back, and a regular client gave Grandpa $1,400 so he could keep his taxi. Modell's grandparents were so amazed that they prayed to become Christians too.
Thanks to the people who gave us Superbook, we are all growing stronger in our faith in Jesus. Thank you.
Xin Yi and her sister are twins, and while they share a birthday, there's one major difference between the two. Xin Yi was born with a hole in her heart, and without surgery, she could die.
The Lus were thrilled to have twins and hoped their girls would always be happy and healthy. Then the couple found out that one baby, Xin Yi, had a hole in her heart.
She was diagnosed with severe pulmonary hypertension, which would lead to breathing difficulty, suffocation, and heart failure. When I heard this, I couldn't catch my breath. I'd heard about heart attacks on TV, but never thought anyone in my family would have one.
A doctor told us if Xinyi didn't get a surgery, she might not live to be a year old.
Day after day, Xin Yi struggled to breathe.
Her lungs didn't have enough oxygen, so she stopped breastfeeding and choked, and her body didn't grow. She couldn't speak yet, but she cried and screamed a lot. I think this was her way of asking me to rescue her.
Mrs. Lu asked family members to loan her money for Xin Yi's surgery, yet they wouldn't help. So Mr. Lu got a job in a coal mine.
Sometimes I wanted to quit, but then I would think about my daughter and knew I had to go on.
Meanwhile, Xin Yi got weaker and the hole in her heart got bigger. The Lus worried she wouldn't make it.
My daughter's blood vessels were really thin, and the doctor at the hospital had to try over and over to get a needle into her veins. Her father and I both cried as we watched.
Mrs. Lu grew up as a Christian, yet she'd since forgotten her faith. Now, desperate to save her baby, she prayed.
I remembered how God had helped me when I was younger, so I prayed, Lord, I want Xinyi to get better. I hope you can come and bless her. Everything is up to you.
Soon, a nurse told the couple about Operation Blessing. And you helped make it possible for Xin Yi to get heart surgery.
God listened to my prayer and helped us through Operation Blessing. Without you, our daughter wouldn't have been able to get this successful surgery.
She's gained 5 pounds. Now she can crawl and she loves to laugh. I'm so happy to see her changing. She's like a different person.
She loves to play with her sister. Now she can have a wonderful life. I'm grateful from the bottom of my heart.
In addition to all the things that you do to help people have more productive lives, to have more income for their families, you are saving lives like Xin Yi's. And we want to say thank you. 700 Club members, it's such a significant thing to do, and it's so simple to do it. A phone call away. 65 cents a day, $20 a month makes you a 700 Club member. Some of you already well know that, and you've gone up to 700 Club Gold. Would you consider going up to the 1,000 Club level, or we have a 2,500 Club level? You can see our founders there. $417 a month works out to $5,000 a year. And then we have a chairman's level. That's friends who give $10,000 or more a year. Ask God how he would like you to participate, and then call. There's such a joy in knowing you are touching and changing the lives of people here at home and around the world. When you call, remember, we're going to send you this great gift, biblical answers to today's questions. So you're going to be blessed, and you'll be a blessing as well.
Well, the woman in our next story was once full of life. Then cataracts robbed her of her joy and her eyesight. Well, now her world is brighter than ever before, and it's all because of you.
Nombeku Mbeku used to love to sing and dance. Now she mainly sits in silence because she's blind due to cataracts.
I lost my vision very suddenly. I was walking home and I fell. That's when I knew I could no longer see. Everything around me is foggy now. I can't do anything for myself. I need to be accompanied even when I go to the bathroom. Otherwise, I get lost.
Concerned for her mother's well-being, her daughter moved back home to the Eastern Cape, South Africa, to look after her.
Not being able to see has taken away my joy. I used to be very lively and independent. I worked hard and never sat down. I grew food in my garden and cooked for myself. Now, my garden is dry and unattended. It pains me so much.
Then they heard about Grace Vision, a ministry supported in part by Operation Blessing, and reached out to us for help. Thanks to your generosity, she received her cataract surgery.
Chezi, my daughter, is this really you? God is with me. He is walking with me. I can see perfectly now. I am so relieved. I feel like myself again. I feel alive. You have unshackled me from my pain, and I am no longer a burden to anyone. I am healed and very happy, and it's all thanks to you. Thank you, Operation Blessing. Thank you so much.
Well, she makes me want to dance. You see that, and it's hard to make me want to dance. When you see that, you just go, wow, isn't it amazing what can happen when people come together and say, let's really help people. Let's change their lives. Let's give them a hope and a future. Let them know that God loves them. We love them too. You can be a part of it. All you have to do is call us, 1-800-700-7000. Say, I want to join the 700 Club. It's real simple to do. You can also go to cbn.com. When you give monthly on the internet, you automatically sign up for Pledge Express. That's electronic monthly giving, bank doing all the work, and we can send as our gift to you.
Well, milk spilled out of Gianna's nose, and her mother constantly worried that she would choke. That's because Gianna was born with a cleft lip. This family prayed to God for help, and God used you to answer their prayers.
Mukira's 5-month-old daughter, Gianna, was born with a cleft lip.
When she drinks milk, it spills out of her mouth and nose. Life is difficult. She can easily choke, so I have to be with her all the time.
Mukira runs a small food stand while her husband does different jobs he can find in Nairobi, Kenya. They knew they couldn't afford to pay for the needed surgery.
We are praying to God that someone will come and help us so that our baby can be like other children before she goes to school.
They met a man who told them about Operation Blessing, and thanks to your generosity, we paid for Gianna to get her cleft lip surgery.
We no longer worry about her choking when she eats. She eats so well now. She is always laughing and smiling. When she starts school, no one will make fun of her. I want to say a big thank you. I am so happy. May God bless you all for your kindness, and may you continue to help others who are in need.
I never cease to be amazed at the powerful impact these surgeries can have. Children now have smiles, they have faces that light up, that have expression. They are going into the future with hope and every good opportunity. We say thank you, 700 Club members. You're doing amazing things. Listen, we've been asking you to join the 700 Club at various levels, but I want to ask you one more thing. When you call and join today, would you do it using Pledge Express? That's electronic monthly giving, means your bank does all the work. No envelopes to have on hand, no remembering the date to send. It's all done for you. But it saves us a little bit of extra money that we can put even more of your gift right into the lives of people like Giannis.
Elena walked over an hour every day with a heavy bucket, even though she was pregnant. She had no choice. Her family needed water.
Elena is expecting her second child. She lives with her husband and 5-year-old son in a rural community in Mexico. There, water is scarce.
The water we collect is far from home, about a 40-minute walk each way. Before I was pregnant, I carried a heavy bucket on a difficult path. In our minds, we thought we would do this forever.
Unfortunately, the water that they collect is not safe to drink.
My son got sick with diarrhea. Sometimes he vomited. We get stomach cramps and diarrhea too. I'm terrified every time I give him water to drink because there is no money for medicine if he gets sick.
Elena was also frightened about what the bad water might do to her unborn baby. So her husband rode 2 hours on a motorcycle to buy bottled water for her.
He spends a lot of money every 2 days. We can't afford that.
Then, thanks to you, Operation Blessing provided all 26 households in Elena's community with water harvesting systems. Each tank stores and purifies up to 1,300 gallons of water. Elena recently gave birth to a baby boy, and now all will have clean water to wash, bathe, and drink.
Now we have clean water at home. I drink whenever I want and give it to my children knowing they won't get sick anymore. Thank you. You have changed our lives.
700 Club members are changing lives all around the world. You're preaching the gospel around the world. You're helping people around the world. Whether it's fresh water, special surgeries, livelihood programs, disaster relief, feeding the hungry right here in America, all the relief going into CBN Israel to help the evacuees, to help the Holocaust survivors, all made possible because you care enough to give.
Alicia is an Army soldier, and she's not only fighting for her country, she's also fighting for her young daughter. Yet when the bills piled up and she lost her car, Alicia needed someone to fight for her.
When E4 soldier Alicia joined the Army, she knew she'd made the right choice. She is a single mom and has to budget very carefully.
You're trying to manage how to decide things like groceries, buying clothes for your baby. Because at this point, it's not about me anymore. It's all about her.
When Alicia needed furniture, she had to take out a loan and make payments each month. Then her car was impounded over back property taxes.
I was shocked, I was upset, I was angry, I was confused at the same time. I was just like, Why haven't I gotten anything in the mail?
Alicia paid the back taxes. However, she didn't have the $1,200 to get her car out of impoundment. She had no choice but to rent a car.
My faith is very strong. Without the Lord, I don't know where I'd be.
Manna Church outside Fort Liberty heard about Alicia and contacted CBN's Helping the Homefront. Pastor Tommy Cartwright told her CBN was paying for her furniture and the rental car. Plus, he had one more surprise.
When this interview is over, we're going to get your car out of impoundment so that you can drive it off the lot and take it home.
Thank you.
That day, CBN paid the $1,200 impoundment fee. She picked up her vehicle and dropped off the rental car. Alicia can now focus on her duties and her daughter without financial worry, thanks to your support.
I'm grateful for the CBN partners. My prayers have been answered thanks to CBN.
Well, Ming Ray says he felt like he was being eaten by a monster. His heart ached because of a birth defect. His father said he'd do anything to take away his son's pain, but he could never afford the surgery that would cure him.
The Chens cherished every moment they had with Ming Ray because they were told he might not make it past his 18th birthday.
He had a hole in his heart, and his arteries were narrow. Doctors said as he got older, the hole would get bigger, and his heart could fail.
Ming Ray wouldn't eat much and stopped growing. He had a weak immune system, so he always caught colds. He gasped for breath and sweated beads as big as soybeans.
While he was sick, he'd be at the hospital for at least 2 weeks. Doctors didn't want to overtreat him because of his heart. If I could take his heart disease, I would.
Meanwhile, Ming Ray just wanted friends.
I wanted to run and play with the other kids, but when I tried, my heart ached. It was like a monster biting me.
I remember him in the school bus crying, "I want to go to school," but the school wouldn't accept children with heart problems. It broke my heart.
So Ming Ray stayed home, playing for hours with his favorite action figure.
My little superhero toy was my only friend. I cried and told him my heart ached and that I wished he were real, because then maybe he could help and heal me.
Twice he fell into a coma.
His whole body twitched, then his heart stopped. It scared me to death. I was afraid he was going to die right then. When he came to, he covered his chest and said, "Mom, I feel pain here." I hugged him and said, "We will get you surgery, but really we couldn't afford it. If you don't have money up front, you can't have surgery."
Then a doctor told the Chens about Operation Blessing.
Operation Blessing was willing to help pay for my son's surgical expenses. So now he is very healthy. He's strong and can run and jump and go to school.
I'm very thankful for the second chance in life the kind-hearted people at Operation Blessing gave my son. You also told us the story of Jesus. Now we know Jesus is the true God. He helped Ming Ray get surgery.
Operation Blessing defeated the monster and cured my heart disease. I think you are the true superhero.
You are the true superhero. That goes to our CBN 700 Club partners. I love this story because it's such a representation of what our partners are doing literally around the world. Not only are you helping provide life-changing surgeries for children and families who are not able to provide that for themselves or for their loved ones, but you're also spreading the message of the gospel to people in China, to people in India, to people in Indonesia and Asia, all across the world. That is what our CBN partners are doing. And if you're not a CBN partner and you just watch that story and you just feel this tug at your heart, I would just encourage you to become a CBN 700 Club partner today.
Well, Alina tries to stay strong in front of her children, and it's not always easy. She still remembers the horrors of October 7th. Thanks to you, she and her family are now safe, and for the first time in months, they have found peace.
Alina's family evacuated Ashkelon in the first days of the attacks from Gaza.
as soon as they heard about terrorists in the streets.
We are used to seeing rocket fire. We know what to do and we are ready. But this situation is very different. It's scary and I still have nightmares because of everything we've seen. Inside, I'm shaking, but I have to show my kids that everything is okay to put them at ease.
Being displaced in hotels brings a whole new set of challenges. However, going back home is not an easy decision for Alina and her family.
I'm not ready to go home. We just heard about a shootout with terrorists in our neighborhood last night. Being cooped up in the apartment is psychologically difficult on the kids. They are afraid. I'm not ready to go back to that, even though I really want to go home. I work at a kindergarten, and it's closed now. I didn't make any money this month. My husband is also working, only part-time. We're trying to be very frugal right now, even though the kids keep asking for stuff.
Thanks to you, CBN Israel provided them with shelter, food, supplies, and counseling in this difficult time.
After being here for a few days, the kids were able to relax. They are not afraid of loud noises anymore. I have no words to describe how valuable this has been. The kids have calmed down. We've all been able to have some peace and spend time in prayer.
Alina and her family are very grateful to CBN Israel for providing them with a safe place to stay, giving them hope for a peaceful future.
It's been such a blessing staying here. We can eat here and not have to worry about spending money we don't have. People who love Israel have donated to help us, and we are so thankful. We pray for them. It's been like a breath of fresh air. We were given a moment to take a breath and be refreshed. The world is praying for us, and we are praying for peace. We believe everything will be all right. God bless you.
That blessing goes from Israel all the way to your home if you're part of the 700 Club. If you're a member, that blessing is yours. If you're not a member, I encourage you, please join with us. Join in everything we're doing around the world, whether it's helping the evacuees in Israel, giving them a hope and a future, letting them know that we stand with them, or it's providing surgeries for children in China, fresh water wells around the world, livelihood programs, disaster relief teams, all made possible because you cared enough to give. If that's you, call us now. Well, whether she's hosting a Superbook party for girls or visiting inmates at a juvenile jail, Miss Marcia has a heart for young people. It's why she's a CBN partner. She's able to provide critical medical care to children around the world, and you make it possible.
Who wants a butterfly?
Marcia Hughes, also known as Miss Marcia, runs a girls-only club for 6 to 12-year-olds. One thing she teaches the girls is etiquette.
You know, the little finger up when you drink your tea.
Marcia has a heart for these girls because when she was a young single mom, her daughter, Haley, had severe cerebral palsy and passed away at 11 years old. During that difficult season, Marcia found the 700 Club.
It was just so stressful with raising Haley. And I searched TV and I ran across CBN and I was just immediately hooked. I watched them doing surgeries, cleft palates and crooked legs, and here I have this handicapped daughter in my arms, you know. It got my mind off of me. I wanted to be a part of that.
Marcia became a CBN partner, while also helping children in her community. Most recently, she was working with teenage girls at a detention center and asked them what would have kept them out of trouble.
If somebody had cared, maybe in the neighborhood, if somebody had cared, I feel like I wouldn't be in jail now.
So she began hosting her girls-only club, featuring CBN's Superbook.
They just bring the Bible stories to life, and they're very thought-provoking. They just reach the children at the right level, and I had the whole group praying to accept the Lord.
After viewing Superbook, there's always a discussion about what the girls learned.
Have you ever been jealous? No.
And they're taking the lessons to heart. Madison is one of the girls in the club.
I learned about even though Even though someone hates you, you could still forgive them.
Maddie is also part of the club.
I like the Superbook Easter episode because he gave his life for us on the cross.
I really hand it to CBN. They really recognize the need for Superbook and the need to reach the children.
Marcia encourages others to partner with CBN.
I want to be a part of all that. I don't want to sit around doing nothing. This is a way I can be the hands and feet of Jesus by giving to CBN. I don't think there's a place that you can even think of that CBN hasn't touched, or a heart that CBN hasn't touched somewhere. It's just a wonderful program to donate to and to be a part of.
Marcia is living out her dream, what she wants to do and how she wants to serve God, and she's joining with so many people to say, yes, let's make a difference. Let's produce Bible cartoons for the children of the world so that they can know and understand the Bible stories. Let's help people very tangibly. Let's do things. Let's join together. If you'd like to do that, give us a call, 1-800-700-7000.
Well, Dane has seen tornadoes before, but he was never inside of one until a twister ripped through his town last month. Dane has always been quick to help out his neighbors, and this time he also needed help.
Operation Blessing responded to an EF2 tornado that hit the town of Slidell, Louisiana. In the aftermath, its residents were reeling.
I've been in the close proximity of tornadoes before, but never inside of one. It was something else.
The tornado left behind dangerous debris and damaged property. Dane is a Christian and a former Marine who's been looking out for his community ever since he moved in.
The neighbors that I have here have become like family to me, and this is a really cool community.
After the tornado, you made it possible for Operation Blessing's disaster relief team to help the community.
Operation Blessing came, and they asked me if I knew anybody needed help, and I was like, yeah, my neighbors. I said, they need help, they need help, they need help.
Operation Blessing came around. They helped me around the house. They brought water, they brought food, they brought other things.
Dane's neighbors then asked us to return to help him. Dane has a lung condition that has slowed him down, and it was difficult for him to clear his property of debris or fix his damaged fence. Thanks to you, Operation Blessing provided lumber and tools and spent the day repairing his fence and cleaning up the yard.
They really come through. They bought all of the material and actually helped me put my fence back together and stand my fence up, reconcrete the posts, and save me and my disabled brother from having to do it. That's a real blessing, it really is.
Well, if you are a CBN partner, you are part of everything that Operation Blessing and Operation Blessing International is doing around the world, especially when it comes to disaster relief. If you're a CBN partner, you are helping Operation Blessing be stationed in different areas so that if a disaster comes, they're already there helping people in need instantaneously. I know storms have been ripping through the United States and also in South America and really all over the globe. And Operation Blessing disaster relief teams have been there helping people like Dane and so many others. So thank you to our CBN partners if you're already a partner. And if you're not, I would just encourage you to become a CBN partner today. It's really simple. All you have to do is give us a call. That number on your screen is totally free. It's 1-800-700-7000. You can become a partner by going to cbn.com or by texting CBN to 71777. When you become a CBN partner, we encourage you to become a partner through electronic monthly giving. That's Pledge Express. That's the bank doing all the work. You don't have to write a check. It's a monthly donation that's coming right out of your bank. So if you want to do this, we're actually going to send you something in return. It's Power for Life monthly teaching CDs. You can also stream these. The one I'm holding in my hand right now is talking about experiencing the power of prayer. It's a teaching by Gordon Robertson. So if you want all of this and you want to help people all around the world, become a CBN partner today.
Growing up, Sangam wanted to run and play like other children, but they teased him because he had a club foot.
When he tried to run, he always fell behind, and the other children laughed at him. This made him upset. So he decided to just stay home.
We tried home remedies and massaged Sangam's feet with oil, but
Nothing helped to straighten them.
As he grew, Sangam's condition got worse.
He always wanted to wear shoes like the other children and asked his father to buy him some.
I got 2 pairs of shoes for him, but he only puts one on because his leg is twisted.
His parents knew he needed surgery, but they couldn't afford it.
He has asked us many times to take him to the doctor so his leg can be fixed.
When Sangam's family heard about Operation Blessing, they reached out to us. And thanks to you, we were able to pay for Sangam's surgery.
His legs and feet are straight now.
He's really happy wearing his new sandals.
And he plays and runs around like he always wanted to.
No one makes fun of him anymore, and he's doing well in school. We are all happy to see him so happy.
We are very thankful to everyone who helped us.
That thank you goes to you. If you're a member of the 700 Club, you're part of that wonderful surgery, that wonderful miracle, to give him a hope, give him a future, to let him know God loves you. We love you too. We want to help you in your time of need. If you want to help people around the world, join the 700 Club. It's real easy. Just call us, 1-800-700-7000. Say, I want to be a member. Some of you can join at 700 Club, which is $20 a month. Others can join at higher levels. We have 700 Club Gold of $40. 1,000 Club, $1,000 a year, and that's $84 a month. We also have 2,500 Club. You just heard from Ashley, a new 2,500 Club member, then founder, $5,000. Chairman Circle, $10,000 or more a year. Whatever level, do it right now. 1-800-700-7000.
Well, Adama gave up everything for her faith. She and her children had no money, no food, and no place to live. Through it all, she trusted that God would provide. And here's how you answered her prayers.
When Adama and her children became Christians, Adama's husband, along with the rest of her Muslim family, cast them out of their home.
I went from house to house washing clothes. With a little income from that, I was unable to pay rent. We were evicted many times because of that. We slept in unfinished houses that didn't have doors or windows.
We were expelled from school because we couldn't pay the tuition. Seeing my friends go to school without me really hurt, but I trusted in God and we asked Him to send people to help us.
We hardly had any food. One time, we didn't have anything to eat for 4 days. I had 33 cents, so I bought tea bags and made some tea for my kids to fill their stomachs. When I shared my story at a prayer meeting, a lady there contacted Orphans Promise and asked them to help us.
Soon after that, another Christian couple at that prayer meeting offered to pay their rent at an apartment. Then Orphans Promise came in with a special housewarming gift.
They brought us rice, onions, oil, and everything we needed to eat. Glory be to God. I cried many tears of joy when this miracle happened.
And to help Adama's children get a good education, we also paid all of their school fees.
God has answered our prayers. We have been able to continue with our studies. He gives me wisdom and intelligence, and every time I'm first or second in my classes. Thank you for helping us.
My heart is flooded with the joy of Jesus Christ. Everything has changed. He sent His angels, Orphans Promise, to bless us and give us back our dignity. To all the donors and everyone who made this possible, may God bless you and raise you from glory to glory, so you will continue to be a source of blessing to others.
Amen and amen. Receive that blessing and encouragement from Adama. Hey, look, if you're a CBN partner, you are a part of everything that Orphans Promise is doing all around the world. The mission of Orphans Promise is helping orphans and widows and families around the world, helping them in real, tangible ways. And as we are the body of Christ, we are the hands and feet of Jesus. So if you're not a CBN 700 Club partner, but you want to become one today and be a part of everything Orphans Promise is doing, everything Operation Blessing is doing, everything that God is doing through CBN, through your yes, through your obedience, through your generosity. Become a 700 Club partner today. It's really simple. All you have to do is give us a call, 1-800-700-7000. Go to CBN.com or text CBN to the number 71777.
Well, every morning, Shrey prays for her grandmother and cousins to know Jesus. Then one day, she said, God did a great miracle. And it happened after her family watched an episode of CBN's Superbook.
After Shrey's parents abandoned her, she went to live with her grandmother, who was also raising Nee's cousins.
I had to take care of my cousins every day. Grandma was busy selling things, so she didn't have any time for us.
One day, a neighbor invited Nee to an after-school program supported by CBN's Orphans Promise.
I was very happy and excited to go. The teacher welcomed me and I was excited to learn. I was able to make new friends.
The after-school program at the church was the first time Nee had ever heard about Jesus through CBN's Superbook.
I watched the story about when Jesus was born. It taught me that God loves me and that Jesus came to earth for me.
After watching the story, Nee prayed with her teacher to become a Christian.
I said, I love you, Jesus, and believe you will forgive me and fill me with your love. And he did fill me with his love.
Immediately, she said her life began to change. She became more loving towards her grandma and her cousins.
Every morning, I prayed for my cousins and grandma to know Jesus. I also took them to watch Superbook too. Now they have become Christians. I am very happy that God heard my prayers for them and did such a great miracle.
Shrey has changed. She became a good student and even helps me around the house.
I am not lonely anymore. I know God loves me. God used Superbook to bring his love to me and my cousins.
If you're a CBN donor, you're part of Superbook. You're part of producing all of those episodes. We're now in so many different languages. Our goal is to hit all the broadcast languages of the world. Our huge audiences on YouTube in these languages. It's just incredible what God is doing with the stories of the Bible, made possible because you cared enough to give. If you're not a member, call us now, 1-800-700-7000. If you are a member, consider increasing. Join us now.
Well, when you join the 700 Club, you're helping people all over the world, like a little boy from China named Renza. Doctors said he was born with, quote, the worst kind of heart problem he could have. They also said without surgery, he'd eventually suffocate and die.
Renza wants to be a doctor when he grows up.
I want to be able to treat diseases and save people's lives.
Renza himself was born without his right pulmonary artery and an underdeveloped left artery.
The doctor said it was the worst kind of heart problem he could have. I knew that as his heart grew, he'd get worse.
He never got enough blood to his heart, so he got tired easily and couldn't keep up with his classmates.
My heart beat really fast. It felt like there was a big stone pressing against me, and I couldn't breathe.
When he caught colds, they turned into pneumonia, landing Renza in the hospital at least once a month.
One doctor said if we didn't get a tube inside his artery, he'd ultimately suffocate and die from a lack of oxygen.
Once, Mrs. Xu thought she'd lost her son until a doctor resuscitated him.
He couldn't breathe. His lips turned purple and he went limp in my arms. I shouted, "Renza, Renza!" and shook him, but he didn't respond.
My heart didn't work. I was afraid I would die, and then I wouldn't be able to be a doctor. The only thing that would cure me was surgery.
Mrs. Xu raises Renza alone and had to work 2 jobs to try to save for surgery, yet it was never enough. All the while she prayed and told her son about Jesus.
My mother told me stories about Jesus every day, like how he healed the sick. I believe in Jesus and prayed for him to heal me.
Then a doctor introduced Mrs. Xu to Operation Blessing. And you helped Renza get heart surgery.
I cried and said, God, this is your love. When the doctor opened up Renza's chest, they found that his heart valve wasn't working at all. They repaired it and replaced the pulmonary duct. Now, all the complications from his heart disease are gone.
I can run far now and play with the other kids without getting tired.
When I was at the end of my rope, you put me out of despair. I'm very grateful to you.
Thank you to the kind people at Operation Blessing. I know God heard my prayer and sent you to help me. I love you all.
Natalia and her 3 children sought refuge in Israel from the war in Ukraine. She's been struggling to survive ever since, especially to get care for her special needs son. Well, today, thanks to you, they have a better life and a future filled with hope.
Natalia and her 3 children recently fled from war-torn Ukraine to Israel in search of a better life for her young family.
The situation back home was tense. The fighting continued. I decided that I would try to give my children a better future. My son Dima is a child with special needs. He was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at the age of 3 months. Ever since then, we would be in the hospital every month.
Natalia was able to get better medical care for Dima in Israel, but as a single mom, she still faced challenges due to her son's mobility issues.
We were able to get into a special school, but in order to transport Dima, we needed a specialized wheelchair.
Because of their refugee status, Natalia has not been able to get health insurance to cover the costs of a proper wheelchair. That's when CBN Israel stepped in.
Your organization paid for a wheelchair, and we also needed a special bathing chair. I had trouble giving my son showers because he can't sit up on his own. It was stressful for him and he would be scared to go into the bathroom. You also got us the bathing chair, and now it will be a lot easier.
Through its generous partners, CBN Israel has also helped provide food and other household necessities for Natalia and her children.
When I first came to Israel, it was difficult. I didn't know anything, but CBN came along and it was as if I grew wings. I was filled with hope. I now look forward to the future. Your generous gifts have restored my faith in humanity.
You provided that. You gave her a hope and a future, that horrible situation she's in. But you gave an answer for her to help her and her wonderful son and wonderful family. You can be a part of helping people around the world. How? By joining the 700 Club. A portion of every gift goes into the work of Operation Blessing. Another portion goes into the work of CBN International to preach the gospel around the world. You're a part of all of it when you join with us. We have a special fund for CBN Israel to bless people in Israel, to help both the evacuees, the people that are making Aliyah, returning back. And often when they arrive in Israel, they don't have a job. They don't have a way to produce income. But isn't it wonderful to be there for them in their time of need, to say, yes, we can help you. We can give you a hope and a future. If you want to be a part of it, call us right now, 1-800-700-7000. Just say, I want to join the 700 Club.
Run, run. Those are the last words Linda remembers hearing her husband say just before an EF2 tornado ransacked their home. Both of them were spared from harm. Their property, however, was a complete disaster.
Before we know it, the weather just went crazy. And then my husband Tommy heard the whistle, and then I heard it, and he said, run to the bathroom.
As Tommy and Linda Kendrick raced to safety, an EF2 tornado ripped through their town of Slidell, Louisiana. It damaged everything in its path, including their property.
It was unbelievable. And the mess, I mean, the debris everywhere. I said, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get this up? My gosh, how are we gonna get through this?
They knew insurance would cover the roof repair, but not the downed trees or debris. That's when, thanks to you, Operation Blessing's disaster relief team provided some help.
To be able to have someone come and clean up our yard like Operation Blessing has done is unbelievable. I mean, I bawled. So, a true blessing. They have a good name, Operation Blessing, because that's what they are. They are our heroes.
Thanks to you, Linda and Tommy and their neighbors received the help they needed.
There are no words to express all the gratitude we feel for everything y'all did for us. It's nothing short of a miracle. That's what I say. Nothing short of a miracle.
That's right here at home, folks, and you were the miracle in their need, and you are for so many. This season has had unbelievable weather issues all around the country, and Operation Blessing has been there, and they're there because of your generosity.
Caboso and her family were starving. A severe drought killed their animals, so she and her husband had no money to buy food. The couple kept asking themselves one question: how will our children survive this drought?
A severe drought continues to ravage northern Kenya, killing much of the livestock and taking a huge toll on families who depend on those animals for their livelihood.
All our animals have been wiped out by the drought. We only have 5 sickly camels left. Before this drought, when we needed food, we sold a few animals. Then we bought food for our families. Now we have been reduced to begging for food. If we get lucky, we eat just enough to trick our stomachs, but it is never a proper meal. My mind is never at peace. I have a small baby who is still suckling. Because I never have enough food, I drink water. But when the child tries to suckle, it leaves me feeling weak and sick. My husband and I keep asking ourselves, how will our children survive this drought?
When Operation Blessing learned about their plight, we distributed food to more than 700 families.
We are filled with joy because God sent you to bring us this food. If you hadn't brought us this food today, we would have slept hungry tonight. You are truly a godsend. Now we have enough food for our family. A big thank you to all those who gave us this food. We will continue to pray for you to be blessed.
That big thank you goes to you if you're a member of the 700 Club. You're helping people all over the world. You're helping people right here in the United States, in Africa, India, Indonesia, the Philippines, China, Latin America. It's all made possible because people like you care enough to give to say, yes, I want to be a part of it. If that's you, call us now, 1-800-700-7000. Say, yes, you can count on me.
Toon works 8 hours a day cooking food to sell. At the end of the day, she only earns $3. That's not enough to feed her family, so sometimes she goes hungry.
Toon is a single parent who's been raising her son Photo and her great niece Gloria, who calls her Grandma.
When Grandma hugs me, I feel warm inside. She cooks food for me. Photo teaches me to read and helps me with my homework. I like helping Grandma.
To provide for the children, Toon sells food, which takes 8 long hours every day to prepare. Sadly, after everything is sold, she only earns about $3 profit.
It was a difficult process because I didn't have the right equipment. I could only make a small amount of shredded pork by hand per day.
That made it tough for her to feed the children. They often went hungry.
Sometimes, Grandma cooked a little egg fried rice. I asked her if she wanted some, but she said no. It was all for me and Photo.
Even if I went hungry, seeing the children eat made me happy. Every day, we prayed that God would take care of us and make our lives better.
Then CBN's Orphans Promise sponsored an after-school program at their church. Toon signed the children up. There, kids receive help with homework, watch CBN Superbook, and eat healthy meals. Orphans Promise also gave them emergency food, along with equipment and supplies, so Toon could expand her business.
Now, instead of cooking for 8 hours, it only takes me 2 to 3 hours. I receive so many orders. I now sell 4 times the amount that I used to.
Toon's business is running so smoothly that she was able to take a part-time job helping with kids on a school bus. She said her income has tripled and her children no longer go hungry.
Our home is filled with joy. Thank you to Orphans Promise for giving me the chance to grow my business. You made our lives so much better.
Thank you for helping our family.
Incredible opportunity to touch and change lives right at their point of need and sharing the love of Jesus when you do it. So call now, 1-800-700-7000.
Well, Dana's parents were desperate. They had no way to help their son who was born with a cleft palate. On some days, all they could do was cry.
Dana was born with a cleft lip. His mother, Tuan, was heartbroken and said she felt like a failure as a mom.
I wondered what I did to cause this to happen. I went for ultrasounds during my pregnancy. The doctors said everything looked normal.
After Dana's birth, his dad said he had no idea where to turn for help for his son. All he knew was that he would always be there for his little boy and take care of him.
I felt hopeless. I couldn't control my emotions. Sometimes I wanted to cry because of his cleft palate, because I couldn't afford to help him.
Then a relative told Tuan about Operation Blessing. Thanks to you, we arranged and paid for Dana to receive free surgery to repair the cleft lip. That surgery was successful.
Seeing him smile makes me feel stronger and more motivated. Every day, I bathe him and look after him. Thank you for helping my son.
His health has improved and he has gained weight, thanks to the people who support Operation Blessing.
Here's a principle from Psalms: blessings on all who reverence and trust the Lord, on all who obey him. Their reward shall be prosperity and happiness. That is God's reward to those who reverence and trust him. One of the best ways you can show that you trust God is with your finances, to let him know that, yes, you have us. You have our future. We can't determine our future. You can, and when we put you first and we put the kingdom of God and his righteousness first, all these other things are added unto us. When you have that kind of faith, you'll get the same blessings that Edward and Shelley did. If you want to start a life of doing this isn't some get-rich-quick scheme, but it's a consistent tithing, giving, offerings done cheerfully, done generously. If you want to start doing that, give us a call, 1-800-700-7000.